Hey y'all, how's it going? I am Joy, and welcome to the NFL Pick'ems podcast with my good friend Steve, as always.
Yeah, nice to be back, Joy. We have plenty to talk about after huge stories coming out there in week 5.
We do. Week 5 stories are not exactly fun for me because I'm a little perturbed at some of it. Okay, so before we get into the news of the week, we do have a standings shakeup. So for our lone games, we are currently sitting at 5 and 6, thanks to Troll. The unanimous decisions has not changed at all, which, to be fair, I'm not really surprised. And then for the current standings, we have SDS in first with 45-33. I am now in second with 44-34. Buff, Savage Owl, and Draz are tied for third with 43-35. John has 42-36. Beegers is all by his lonesome at 40-38. Papa Agron is the epitome of consistency, and he is 39-39. Steve is 38-40. Troll has 36-42, and Rev has 33-45. So what do we have for game of the week? Because there were a few that were really good.
Absolutely, there are a lot of close ones there.
Yeah.
My pick is going to be one that I got wrong thanks to my cat there. I'm going to say Dallas being Pittsburgh there. Close finish.
Yeah, that was a very, very good game. Now, I didn't catch the ending of it because of the rain delay, and it didn't end until like 1 in the morning or something, and your girl's not staying up that late for football. I'm a little bit sad that the Steelers didn't win it because I do like that team more, but I am pleased that that was one of my 11 wins that I did end up getting because it was a pretty big split game. For me, I think I am going to go ahead and take the Ravens nail-biter victory in overtime.
Oh yeah, that one was exciting to watch.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I was watching that in real time with John, the gamer duo, in our DMs together, and let's just say that I proved my jinx is legit. Because the entire game, they kept talking about how Evan McPherson was actually draining these field goals, and I'm like, well, of course he hit it. He's Evan. He's always money. He's Money McPherson. He's always solid. He'll never miss. Right after I said that, he misses in overtime. And I'm like,
thanks to the fumble by the placeholder there.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it was so great because I'm a god, and I knew that my jinxing powers would be used for good in that situation. But I was also right because he himself is amazing, but I still jinxed the play, and so it was kind of one of those funny moments with John and I. What about the shock of the week, though?
Yeah, for me, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars finally getting out to Schneid and getting their first win.
That, yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. It was definitely surprising. That was one of the 3 losses that I had on the week. In a way, though, that's kind of not all that surprising to me, because I did say that, I wouldn't be shocked if they did end up winning. And I'm going to shoulder some of the blame on my own self, because I hyped up Father Flacco a lot. And, per the usual, if I like you, you don't seem to do well. If I like you publicly. So my apologies to Indianapolis for doing that. For me, I'm going to have my shock. I have 2 shocks, actually, and I wasn't exactly sure which one to pick. I was kind of hoping that you would take the Giants, to be fair. Because the Giants beating Seattle, because Seattle forgot that running the ball exists, was definitely a surprise. That was, honestly, that's more of a disappointment, I think, than a shock, because of just Seattle's performance was so bad. So my official shock of the week is going to be the 49ers being upset by Arizona. I feel like Papa Agron might be right when he said that the 49ers do seem to be a little broken. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, they need to get it together before it's too late and they end up costing me my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah.
Because if you guys recall, for week one, my Super Bowl pick was the 49ers and the Ravens. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, neither team is really looking that great going into it right now. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not a fan. Not a fan at all. But now we can go ahead and move on to my favorite segment of the recap. We have the disappointment of the week. Why don't you go ahead and start off?
Okay, my disappointment there. I was going to say Niners, but you covered that there. But for me, I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills. They're losing to the Texans. There. I mean, Josh Allen late in the game. It's like he's fumbling a lot there
Well,
in
I
the end
mean,
zone there.
to be fair though, the
Mm-hmm.
problem there, like the reason he was fumbling so much, very well could have been because he was knocked unconscious earlier in the game,
But
and then they
a lot of
just
people
sent him back out
thought
there.
maybe it was a concussion.
Right, yeah. He clearly seemed to be exhibiting signs of being concussed, and
Mm-hmm.
the team just like gave him some smelling salts and sent him back out there. So I'm not at all
Yeah,
surprised that his performance,
yeah,
suffered after that. The
yeah,
NFL allowing him to return that quickly was
yeah,
absolutely atrocious. And as a league, they need to learn from what happened to Tua and just do better, or
yeah,
stop pretending to care about player safety
yeah,
because they're pushing this narrative of how important player safety is, but then they do this and just drop the ball quite literally every single time they have a chance to do something right. My disappointment of the week is not a game, it's the Jets, and it's the media and the NFL in general.
mm-hmm.
Because of Aaron Rodgers' apparent favoritism and the
Mm-hmm.
media continuously making excuses, heaping praise
Mm-hmm.
upon him,
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly, it's always been this way ever since he was a Packer, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised,
Mm-hmm.
but it's getting very, very ridiculous. Through
Sure.
5 games, the first 5 games of the season, the production is virtually identical to last season's first 5 games when Zach Wilson was their quarterback. The
Yeah.
same number of points scored, almost the
Mm-hmm.
same yards per game. So
Sure.
Rodgers is being heralded as one of these like best QBs of all time kind of thing, and he's
Yeah.
struggling this year.
Sure.
And
No.
then they fired Salah.
Yeah. Why? What was that?
It was a mistake, in my opinion. Now, I fully expected him to be a Black Monday casualty, not a Week
Mm-hmm.
5 casualty. Because let's be real, he
True.
started 2-3.
Yeah.
Starting 2-3 is not exactly a fireable offense, in my opinion.
True.
That feels a little rash.
Yeah.
However, it's not very surprising either, because people will literally do anything to not let Aaron Rodgers shoulder the blame for any
True.
lackluster offensive performances. Him throwing 3 interceptions against Minnesota is clearly a coaching issue, right? Not
True.
at all because he lacks team chemistry after skipping out on OTAs and practices, or because their O line is incredibly weak, or because they have Garrett Wilson, but he's choosing to make Alan Lazard their number one receiver instead because he likes the guy, or
Mm-hmm.
because Nathaniel Hackett is their offensive coordinator after a
Yeah.
miserable tenure with the Broncos.
Yeah. That's in my opinion. There. They fired the wrong coach. They should have fired Hackett instead of Salah.
Right, but I mean, I'm sure that'll be fine because that's a guy that Aaron Rodgers actually likes, right? Honestly, I hope that they fail miserably after this because all of the reports are saying that he wanted Salah fired because they were not in agreement pretty much at all year.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's come out and denied all of that. But there was also him talking about what he said to the Jets owner the night before Salah was fired, which
Mm-hmm.
in and of itself feels kind of gross. Because why is a player on first name basis with the owner and having their contact information and going out to dinners and all of that stuff? You are a player. There's supposed to be a middleman between you and ownership.
Sure.
And so the fact that Rodgers has the owner in his hip pocket is kind of funny, and he's signed on for more than just this year, so he's going to pick his coach for the next year, and it smells like Green Bay all over again when he got Mike McCarthy fired because he couldn't work with him, and it's really starting to get on my nerves. But I'm very, very glad that people not in the NFC North are finally starting to see this too. So all of that being said, what about the regret of the week?
Okay, for me, my regret will be not picking the Dolphins to beat the Patriots there.
Yeah, I only went with the Dolphins because I expected Huntley to have kind of a bounce back on a second time, getting starting reps with the team. So,
yeah.
But all right. Anyways, so there are the recaps out of the way.
Okay.
Are you prepared to dive on into week 6?
Absolutely. And as usual, we'll start with the teams on the bye there. First up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs coming up. They're 5-0. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams, who are pretty much banged up with no Puka and no Cooper Kupp there.
Yeah, they are battered and bruised, and they really, really needed this bye week. So, good timing.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins there, as we discussed in our regret of the week there.
Mm-hmm.
And last up, we have another team on a 5-0, the Minnesota Vikings there, after that huge win over in England.
Right. So they're going to have quite a lot of good rest on that because they definitely need the break after playing overseas. So
sure.
I like that. And then next week they face Detroit. So yeah, they definitely need the rest for that, and I am not the least bit frightened that we're going to be facing a team straight off the bye that is as powerful as Minnesota. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
Oh, lordy. Well, all right. So speaking of fun, if you're ready.
I'm ready to go.
Let's dive on in then. We have the San Francisco 49ers going to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, obviously the Niners are banged up. There are a lot of people are injured there. George Kittle, for one, there. And
Oh, man. Kittle's hurt too.
McCaffrey and a couple of their defensive players.
Good lord. They are so damaged. I didn't pick this this game until like 5 minutes before we started. Yeah. I had absolutely no clue what I was going to do.
Yeah. And obviously Seattle's coming off a huge loss themselves there. That block punt in the fourth quarter, man, that's what really cost them the game.
Yeah, that was definitely rough.
Yeah. Because now one of these teams needs a huge win to bounce back their season there.
Yeah, they really do. Now, who do you think is going to get it? The battered and bruised 49ers who need a bounce back? Or the embarrassed Seattle Seahawks hoping to remember how to run the ball?
Yeah. I'm going to go with the latter there. I'm going to go with the Seahawks at home to beat the Niners.
All right, well, first game up, first split. I really wanted to go for the upset. I really did. But I couldn't make myself. So I'm going to trust in Brock Purdy and whatever's offense is left of San Francisco. So
yeah.
All right, so next up, we head overseas again for the second week in a row with the London Jaguars and the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. Obviously, Jags were lucky to get their first win against the Colts there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if I'm making the prediction, if they don't win this week there, I could see Doug Peterson joining Robert Sale on the unemployment line.
Yeah, I could see that too, unfortunately, because it's weird because I do think that he's not a bad coach. I think that they just had a really rough time so far because like he did fairly well for him early on in his tenure there. So
True.
I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup because the Bears are kind of, unfortunately for me, doing fairly well.
Yeah. I guess you're a little shocked that Caleb Williams is playing like a lights out quarterback there.
He's playing like an adequate QB. He's not exactly playing lights out, in my opinion. I still think that the defense is easily giving them those wins. But he's not horrible. I will say they're finally starting to use him effectively, like, using his legs more, using the actual run game to set up good play action passes down the line. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how he develops the rest of the season. But for this one, I'm taking the Jaguars because I feel like they're technically the home team.
Mm-hmm.
And frick the Bears spite. So.
Yeah. I think we have our second split because I went with the Bears there.
Oh, well, here we go again. But, this could very well be our first Splitsville of the season. Yeah. We have a nasty habit of getting into these, so it's going to be fun to see how it all goes. Mm-hmm. I kind of anticipate a split on this one as well. We have, next up on the Sunday afternoon slate, we have the Cardinals and the Packers.
Yeah. Those Cardinals there, how did they beat the Niners is beyond me there.
They ran the ball.
Exactly.
Something that Seattle failed to do.
Yeah. Kyler Murray took most of the runs, I imagine, there in that game there.
It was Kyler Murray and James Conner, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's see. John sent me a photo of the slate. Let me go ahead and take a quick look and see what it was.
Okie dokie.
Yep, James Conner had 16 carries for 76 yards, and Kyler Murray had 3 carries for 66 yards.
Yeah.
So they actively ran the ball, which was nice.
Yeah. But I think they're in huge trouble there because obviously the Packers are a sleeper team there. Now that they got Jordan Love back, and I'm sure he's going to be at 100% there.
Yeah, more than likely.
Mm-hmm. For me, I'm taking the Packers at home to beat the Cardinals.
Yeah, we have our third split.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we do. It's mostly spite. My last 3 picks so far have all been kind of spite fueled.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be fun, but I'm deciding to take some risks and embrace my snarky side.
Okay.
So let's see if we can keep this trend going. Next up, we have Indianapolis going to Tennessee, fresh off of their bye, to take on the Titans.
This one's going to be a tough one to call for me there because obviously both teams are pretty much in the twilight zone right now.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I do like Indy a little bit more now that they have a quarterback that I kind of respect.
Yeah.
And Tennessee, Flacco. Yeah, Flacco, exactly, Father Flacco. From what I remember, Tennessee brought in Trevor Siemian, I think was the news that Dad told me earlier.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of feeling like spiting them a little bit as well, even though they are coming off the bye. I typically would go with them. But considering they're not really going to give Mason Rudolph the edge there, even though he got them their win last time, it doesn't sit well with me because I've always kind of liked Rudolph. So I'm trusting the Colts and the experience edge of their QB.
Yeah. Finally, we have our first unanimous agreement there. I went with
Hallelujah.
the Colts as well.
Yay, we finally agree on something. So now hopefully the trend will be solid from here on out. Because next up we have Houston and New England.
Yeah, this one's a no-brainer in my opinion.
Yeah,
There,
it is.
because obviously the Patriots are a mess right now. They're going to go with Maine at the quarterback there this week. There,
Yeah, yeah. I told myself and I told John that I was gonna say absolutely nothing when it came to Drake May. And as difficult as this is for me right now, I'm gonna uphold my agreement and I am gonna say absolutely nothing in regards to Drake May.
true.
So I am simply
Yeah,
going to say that Houston is a very strong team. The
exactly.
Strouds are flying high, and I'm going to go ahead and trust the offense of Houston.
Yeah. So I guess we'll be in agreement there, and both take the Texans.
Yeah, because like you said, this was kind of a bit of a no-brainer, unfortunately, and I just hope that my sacrifice does me well. All right, next we have an NFC South battle with the Tampa Bay BUCS and the New Orleans Saints, who are most likely going to be without Carr for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously they're the oblique muscle there for him there.
Yeah, his
Pretty
oblique
much
strain, from a report that I heard earlier today, I haven't checked it since, but he might be out till week 10.
yeah.
But he's also listed as like week to week, so more updates will come as we go. But he's definitely not starting week 6, so that
Yeah.
for me personally changed some decisions in my mind.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this game? I'll let you you take it first.
I obviously this one's a no-brainer. They'll be lost without Derek Carr, quarterback back there. Hopefully, Alvin Kamara can pick up a lot of the offense for them, but unfortunately, it'll come up short for them there. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, I'm taking the Bucks as well for a variety of reasons. I think that it, you know what? Sure, I'm gonna risk it here. I like Baker Mayfield. I said it. I like him as a QB. I think that he has plenty of attitude and he's very
True.
chippy. He might say some things that I kind of disagree with. The thing with him and Brady previously, so he does have a habit of kind of getting himself in some hot water every now and then. But for
True.
on the field, I do like him. I think the Bucks' offense is solid. Their defense is what worries me, and I think that if the Saints can run the ball effectively and just kind of like hone in on that, they would be able to win this game easily. But I'm going with Tampa because honestly, Tampa needs a break. All right, next up we have the Browns and that hot mess going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. We're also a bit of a hot mess
Exactly
if you think
there.
about it.
Yeah. Obviously, the most hotter mess was obviously the Browns there with
Oh yeah,
Mr. No Means No at QB there.
yep. It's 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit hot of a mess. The Browns from the top down are just horrible. There's reports that he's quit on his team, that he's just given up playing. Kevin Stefanski has lost the team, and the coaches don't know what they're doing. They Watson walked off the field because they had too many men on the field instead of just sending a player from the huddle back to the sideline. So they lost a fourth and goal potential because the coaches sent out too many players. So just from the top down, they just keep continuously making mistakes, and I really don't know what happened because I don't think that Stefanski's a bad coach.
Hmm.
So do we really even have to ask? I think we're in agreement here. We're both going to take the Eagles.
Obviously.
Yeah, like I wish it were different. Like I wish that the Browns were competitive this year. I wish that they had any other quarterback to be competitive with, but
Mm-hmm.
they just don't. And for that reason, I will go with them to lose literally every single game.
Yeah.
Now, this next one could be a sleeper game of the week, in my opinion, when we have King Henry and the Ravens,
Yeah.
hosting Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Ooh, this one is possibly a game of the week potential there.
Yeah, who would have thought at the beginning of the season that we would have Washington involved in a game of the week scenario? Like, nobody would have thought they would have been good enough to be in that conversation. So I'm very, very happy for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because Jaden Daniels there is the hugest surprise for both of us there.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that he's kind of coming into his own a little bit. I can't really say one way or the other whether I like his QB play or like him as a player because I haven't watched enough games or film or anything, but the results are speaking for themselves. Like, they've been surprising a lot of teams, and it's really fun to watch. They are probably the most fun team to kind of like track week to week for me.
Of course, Baltimore has Lamar Jackson there, and his dynamic dual partner now, King Henry.
Yeah. Now, I will say, the one thing that does kind of disappoint me about Baltimore is the lack of Mark Andrews sightings. I always kind of liked him on the Ravens, and he's just kind of basically done nothing, which is great for players like Isaiah Likely, who's able to, kind of step up into that role. But it's really weird. Like, where did he go? Why isn't he getting the touches and the attention?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Ravens are just such a strong team. They really are.
Exactly. In all facets there.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to go with a specialty on this one there.
And weirdly enough, I'm actually in agreement with you on that part. I do think that it's going to be a close game, and it shouldn't be, but I think it will be.
True. And I'm going to go with the Ravens at home to beat the Commanders.
I agree. But boy, would an upset be fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, Beakers, but it would. You gotta be honest here. It would be pretty fun. Washington, trying to stake their claim for first in the division by toppling one of the AFC's best. It would be such a cool story.
Yeah. True.
Alright, now we go to a team coming straight off the bye with the Chargers going to Denver, who just keeps surprising.
Yeah. They're even surprising me, and I'm a Broncos fan.
Exactly. Yeah, I was wondering how you felt about it.
Yeah. I mean, Bo Nix pretty much right up there with Jaden Daniels as one of the hugest surprises of the rookie season.
Yeah. Yeah, his 6'2" self is really starting to impress. I'm pleased. So
Exactly.
I'm a little surprised as well. I do think, though, most of the Denver Broncos' success could be traced back to the defense, kind of winning that game. Yeah. But, Bo Nix did have a breakout game last week. I will definitely give him credit for that.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to go with the Broncos at home to upset the LA Chargers.
Ooh, you know what? Bold pick. I respect it. I wanted to. I so wanted to. I believe that they easily could. But my typical logic is if they're coming off of a bye week and they're already a fairly strong team, that gives them the edge. And so I'm going to give it to the Chargers. And if I'm wrong, lock in my regret because I 100% would go the other way. But yeah, so we have a split again. Fourth one. I have not been writing these down, so when we're done, you're going to have to tell me what our split games are.
Okie dokie.
All right. So next up, we are staying in the AFC West, and we have the Raiders hosting the Steelers.
Yeah, obviously with the Raiders, they're a little bit of a hot mess there. I don't know what's wrong with Gardner Minshew.
He got benched last week, and Aiden O'Connell came in. It made me so sad, but it was so funny. I think I might have jinxed it again, because I was saying in our video that Aiden O'Connell should be the starter over Gardner Minshew, and how that was my hot take. And so they did it. They rolled him out there. He took over, and then he got intercepted in like his first drive. And I'm like, oh no, Aiden, we can't do this. I can't be right again. And then you know, he settled down. They got the ball back again, and then he went down there and he scored a touchdown and got the 2-point conversion as well. So I stand by what I said. I think that Aiden O'Connell should be the starting QB of the Raiders, at least for this year. And you know, who knows? Maybe in the years to come, because they did fairly well last year under him. So I fully believe he should be starting. The Steelers, though, I think they're going to cause some problems after getting slapped at the end of the game against Dallas. I think they're going to be coming out mad.
Yeah, they want revenge there, and unfortunately, it's going to be at the hands of the Raiders, because I took the Steelers on the road to beat the Raiders.
Yeah, I did too. I expect this to be a defensive battle, and so I'm going to go ahead and trust the defense of Pittsburgh over the defense of the Raiders.
True.
All right, well, hey, you brought it up. Speaking of revenge, we have Detroit going to Dallas.
Yeah,
there's a lot of revenge on the mind here, so...
Yeah. Especially after that, their final game of the regular season between those two teams there last season.
Decker reported. Just putting that out there. Decker reported. So... And you know what? If I'm Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson, I call the exact same play. I do it again. Yeah. First drive, first time you guys are in the red zone, call it again, and let Decker get the score that he never had the chance to actually have. Exactly. It would be their style.
And obviously the Cowboys coming off a huge win against the Steelers there Sunday, as we discussed many times.
Yeah, it was such a close game, though. Like, by all accounts, they shouldn't have won that game. But they did. So, good on you. But now they have a bit of a bigger challenge when they're hosting the Lions, who are fresh off of their bye and more fully well-rested.
True. Yeah. And lately there, Dallas at home, there's been struggling there for what reasons, I have no idea.
Yeah, I really don't know. This was kind of the surprise of the season for me, was seeing Dallas fall at home to New Orleans. Back in week 2. Was it week 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, week 2, they lost 44-19. They didn't just lose, they got smacked.
True. Yeah.
So, with all of that in mind, what say you?
I'm going to go with your favorite team there. I'm going to go with the Lions on the road to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, I am too. I'm taking revenge, I'm taking the bye week, I'm taking spite, and I'm taking just overall performance over the course of the season so far. I think the Lions have been performing better. They've definitely had their moments of issues, but I think generally speaking, they are the better team on paper. And Terrion Arnold just has to stop grabbing people. Literally, just you hit him and you bounce off. Do not grab the jersey. He's got to learn that, and then he can be a premier cornerback in this league. But until then, he's just going to continuously get flagged, and especially in a game against Dallas, he is going to get so many flags. They need to sit him down and teach him not to grab people ahead of this game. Because if he holds it for even a millisecond too long, flag. So I'm scared, but hopefully it'll be okay. So next up then, we have Atlanta and Carolina. Atlanta is so fun. I gotta be honest. They're my bane, but they're a fun bane. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with them this year. Like, they're not really frustrating me as much as they normally do. Even when I'm wrong on them, they're fun.
Yeah, but because obviously Carolina's dumpster fire this year, even benching Bryce Young there
Yeah, well, because I
for
mean,
Andy Dalton.
Bryce Young was not the only problem that they had. It's,
Mm-hmm.
from the top down. Now, I don't really mind Canellis quite as much anymore now that I kind of seen him a little bit on the sidelines. So there's that. But
Yeah,
I think ownership is kind of getting in the way, much like in other places. Dallas and the
yeah,
Raiders, and
true.
Cleveland. And the Jets, actually.
Yeah.
What is it with owners thinking that they can just get in the way of the team's progress? I really don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
And the only one benefiting from Carolina's losing is surprisingly the Chicago Bears
right,
there.
yeah, exactly. Like, the worse Carolina does consistently, the better it is for Chicago. And Chicago is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger each year they get a high draft pick from Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
like, I wish that Carolina was smarter, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that is not the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So, let's add some more spite to the list. Thank you for reminding me. That's another reason to go
Yeah.
against them. And I'm taking
Yeah.
Atlanta in kind of a no-brainer situation here.
Yeah. Obviously, Atlanta's coming off their huge win there in overtime against the BUCS there.
Oh yeah, that was something I did want to talk to you about. Actually, I was going to bring that up in
Mm-hmm.
our recap, but I didn't get to it because we didn't include this game. But what is your opinion on the overtime rule? Because when the BUCS lost, a lot of people were crying about how only one team got the chance to touch the ball and blah 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 blah
True.
blah, and I would prefer to have college rules and all of that. So
True. Yeah.
what is your opinion
But
on that?
I think next season they should go with each team getting one possession there.
I would agree with that on the condition that if the first team gets 7,
Yeah.
you are forced to get 8.
Yeah.
Because we can't have double overtime, triple overtime, 9 overtime. Like,
Yeah.
college games will go forever. And
Exactly.
I hate it. That's one of the reasons I can't do college. I can't watch college ball for a variety of
Yeah.
reasons, but that's one of the reasons I don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
is the rules are so soft, where
Yeah.
everybody gets a chance. And for me, I'm kind of on the side of overtime rules are what they've always been and the way they should be. It's a team sport. Your
Yeah.
job as a team on defense is to stop them from scoring. If you do
True.
that, then your offense has a chance to touch the ball. If you fail to do that, like Tampa did because they don't have that great of a defense this year, Atlanta went down there and beat them. Your job is to stop them from doing that. You failed. You lose. That's just
Yeah.
like that's how I always felt about it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
team thing. Now, if they want to change the rules up, you have to make sure that the other team has to get a 2-point conversion in order to make that fair. Because you only get 10 minutes, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
time of possession, you can easily go down the field and take up at least half of that if you're good at your job on the offensive side of the ball. So, I personally wouldn't touch it and just, get good. But
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of people that were complaining about it, and so I was curious where you fell on the spectrum, because I'm just like I'm more old school and more harsh about it, I guess. But your defense's job is to stop them from scoring. If you can't do
Not
that, you lose. Simple as that.
true. True.
But all right, so I assume we're both going with Atlanta. By the way, I just kind of went off on a tangent.
100%.
So okay, good. Just wanted to officially cement that.
Okay.
Okay, so next up we have the ever surprising Giants hosting Cincinnati.
Yeah. Who would have thought the Giants would have won the way they did last week there? No one. I
Yeah,
bet.
only people who thrive on upset picks would have taken that. And, good on them for doing so. I just,
Mm-hmm.
there was absolutely no way I would have expected it. Seattle shouldn't have lost that game.
No.
They had that amazing fumble recovery for like 102 yards or something. And all they had to do was remember how to run the ball with a fairly decent running back, and then they just failed at every level to do so.
Sure. And obviously the Bengals, their need a bounce back game from a huge loss to Baltimore.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be mad because they played extremely well. They got a good safety on Derrick Henry of all people. Who would have ever seen that coming?
No. Yeah. For me, I'm going to go with the Bengals on the road to beat the Giants.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I think the Giants are surprising, but I don't think they're that surprising.
Yeah.
Especially with the injuries that they're going to be having now. So I am definitely taking Burrow and the Bengals.
Yeah.
And then we have Monday night, my favorite matchup. We have the Bills and the Jets.
Yeah.
What
both
fun.
Teams coming off huge losses there. And as you discussed in your rant earlier there about the Jets, their huge loss there cost Saleh his job there.
Yeah, I don't think that Robert Saleh should have lost his job. I really don't. Now, I personally don't like him as a coach. I don't think that he was all that great. Again, I fully expected him to be fired at the end of the season. He was going to be a Black Monday casualty, but I don't think that he deserved to go in week 5. So I think that they made a mistake on that one, and then the Bills made the mistake with Josh Allen, as I ranted again earlier. This game is just the rant game, to be fair, because like I ranted on both of these things, and for both valid reasons. So, meh.
Question is, what team will bounce back with the W there?
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's typically a rule where when a team makes a coaching change or a QB change or something like that, that is the motivation that sparks a win. It stokes the flames of the team and gives them something to fight for, right? But considering it's Aaron Rodgers, Jets, and Jeff Ulbrich, or whatever his name is, as the interim coach, which I will say, kudos to them for not giving in and giving it to Nathaniel Hackett. Good on you. I thought for sure he was going to be, but they didn't. I am taking the Bills because I can't. I can't go with Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. No. Even if they still had Saleh, even if they were 5-0, I would not take them against the Bills this year. I can't.
100% agree with you because I took the Bills on the road to beat the Jets.
Good, because I am so done with this man. This guy, I can't even call him a man. I am so done with the golden boy. The sooner he goes away into his darkness retreat retirement home, the better. I'm so tired.
Now that we got those out of the way, it's time to find out how our friends do with their picks.
So first up, we have John, who took San Fran out of spite because he's mad at his team for not running the ball. He took the Jaguars for the same reason I did. They're kind of the home team. And then he took the Packers, Colts, Texans, BUCS, Eagles, and Ravens. He took the Chargers in a close one because of the bye week. He took the Steelers, just saying TJ, though. It's like, yep, you're right. He took the Cowboys in a bit of an upset, in my opinion, saying sorry. And then he took Falcons, Bengals, and the Bills for spite. What a friend. I'm here for it. Thank you, John. I'm so happy that we agree with this fight. Alright, and then we have Troll, who took the Niners and the Jags, who took the BUCS, saying 2 Hurricanes back-to-back, give it to the people. Commanders, Cardinals, Titans, Patriots, Eagles, Chargers, Steelers, Panthers, Imagine, Cowboys, Giants, and Jets.
Mhm.
So somebody doesn't believe in this fight, but it's alright. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. And then we have Buff, who took the San Francisco 49ers, the Baltimore Ravens, New Orleans Saints, Jacksonville Jaguars, Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, Denver Broncos, Cincinnati Bengals, Green Bay Packers, and the Carolina Panthers. Alright, so then we have SDS, who took the 49ers, Jags, BUCS, Commanders, Packers, Colts, Texans, Eagles, Chargers, the Raiders, the Panthers in 100% concentrated Kirk cringe spite, the Lions, the Bengals, and the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Papa Agron, 49ers over Seahawks, Bears over Jaguars, the Bucks over the Saints, Ravens over Commanders, Packers over Cardinals, Colts over Titans, Texans over Patriots, Eagles over the Browns, Broncos over the Chargers. Enjoy that hot take, Nate. Steelers over Raiders, Falcons over Panthers, Cowboys over the Lions. Probably not going to happen, but Bengals over the Giants, and Jets over the Bills with the last hot take of the week. And then we have Biggers, who took the 49ers, saying sorry, John. Took the Bears in a close one. Took the Ravens because they're his team. The Packers because they're at home. The Texans, the Bucks, the Eagles because they're at home. The Titans, but only if Richardson plays. The Broncos in a close one. The Steelers still hate that I have to pick this team. The Falcons, the Lions, saying happy, happy, joy, joy. The Bengals, and the Bills. And then we've got Rev, who took the 49ers. He took the Saints, saying the key to victory, all they need to do is contain Laser Mayfield, a defensive player of sorts, and get some offensive weapons to work. The Packers, the Texans, his Chargers, the Falcons, Jags, Ravens, Colts, Eagles, the Lions, you know what I'm going to say about the Cowboys, the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Bills. And then there's Owl, 49ers, Bears, Packers, Colts, Texans, Saints, Eagles, Ravens, Broncos, Steelers, Lions, Falcons, Giants, and Bills. He's apparently a Giants fan. He's gone with the Giants a lot.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I am so sorry for you.
Yeah, but obviously you did well last week there.
You know what? This is true. He was one of, I think, 2 people. I might have to check that, but one of 2 people who actually got the Giants pick correct. So good on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, this one's actually kind of fun. Typically, I don't read all of the reasons out anymore, but I might for this one, at least for some of them. This one's fun.
Okay.
We have Draz. 49ers beat the Seahawks because the Seahawks lost to the Giants. Enough said. Jags beat Bears. Bucks beat Saints. The Ravens outlast the Commanders. In King Henry I trust. Packers beat the Cardinals, but as a Packers fan, I'm terrified. You should be. Colts beat Titans. Texans beat the Patriots. If anyone picks the Patriots, you're insane. Eagles beat the Browns. Can I get paid millions to be a liability too? Chargers beat Broncos. Steelers beat Raiders. Falcons beat the Panthers. I'm swaggin', I'm surfing. Lions beat the Cowboys. Petition to make the Hawk Tua girl the Cowboys coach. Bengals beat the Giants, saying there's no way, right? And then Bills beat the Jets. Sadness, pain, and anguish are all that the Jets feel. Let's be real, Draz. You should know that. They've been feeling it since they signed Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah. But all right, there we go. I would like to apologize a little bit if I seemed a little out of sorts. Like I said, it's been a long day. I'm kind of running on fumes here. Fumes and cola is all that's keeping me going. So my apologies if I was rash or rushed or what have you. So anything you want to wrap up with as well?
Obviously, best of luck to everybody playing their fantasy league teams. Manage them wisely, especially if some teams are on the bye week there.
Yeah, the bye week really messed me over last week. I had to start a lot of players that I didn't trust, that I didn't even have on the team until I claimed them off of waivers, and this week I'm in some trouble again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really relying on my Lions, so if they let me down, it would just be my luck.
Sure. Yeah. And obviously, for joy's sake there, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for all our future NFL prediction videos on here. And thanks to all the subscribers that joined us on here.
Yep, exactly. All of you guys do definitely make this worthwhile. If you would like to follow along with this, you are more than welcome to subscribe, but it is not a requirement unless you're, participating. And also a big thanks to the members, Richard, Sandra, and George, per the usual, for all of the added support. And hope you guys are enjoying the members first perk on some of the content that I put out. If you guys want that as well, you can become a member and kind of get some of the content a little bit early.
Sure. Yeah. And check out all of Joy's gaming videos on here.
Yep, exactly. I don't just do football podcasts, although football podcasts are kind of one of the more fun things that I do, to be fair. This is kind of like the break from the standard content. It's a lot of work one major day out of the week, and then I sprinkle in the rest of it, so it is work, but it's also really, really fun. So I thoroughly enjoy it. But yeah, so hopefully there is no more, league breaking news that happens for next week, because my throat doesn't like it when I rant too much.
Sure. Unless there's another coaching firing like I discussed earlier.
Yeah. Now I will say though, if Peterson does get canned, I'm gonna be convinced that London is just bad luck.
Curse.
But also, how messed up is that gonna be though? Because the Jags have back-to-back games in London, so if they fire Doug Peterson while they're in London, they still have to stay there and have another game. So that is going to be so messed up. So hopefully they can actually beat the Bears and not lose his job. But we'll see how that all goes. I won't rant quite as much on that firing because I don't have a dog in the fight. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on any of the news that comes in for our Week 6 recap next week, when we see you guys for Week 7 of our Pick Ems podcast.
Thank you all. See you all next week.